plays at 5:30, 7:30. Varsity plays 5:30, 7:30. So if you're open all day, let's make 1:20 in the morning, have a lunch break, and let's make 1:40 or 1:60 at night. Okay, and you have that break in the middle of the day. And then when it comes to American Legion for Nebraska, I have 101 games, 174 assigned, 28 left open. That number continuously goes up in number of games as people reach out to me for help, between Lincoln, Corey Aldrich, and then the Omaha Metro coaches. Yes, sir?
When does the season start up here and when does it end?
So the season started about March 10th, and we don't end till the last week of October. Yeah, so we get going. And during the College World Series, it's 8 a.m. in the morning till 10 o'clock at night for about 14 days.
I'll be an equipment manager for the College World Series.
You mean you're not going to be an equipment manager?
No, I would be.
Oh, no. You want to be an umpire manager during the College World Series.
I got to go to a few mechanics classes.
Oh, I know a guy. All right, let's see here. All right, I'm glad we're live. All right, so starting tomorrow, I'm going to post this PSOA Umpire Exposure Clinic, Thursday, June 20th through Sunday, June 23rd. And then Classroom Social will be Friday, June 21st. All right, so what we do is we use the highest level of baseball games we can during that second weekend of College World Series. And ideally, if it works out, great. You know, we have 4 fields at Council Bluffs Sports Complex. You work 2 games for the exposure clinic. You're at the sports complex. You go work 2 more games, and you make your money back instead of working all exposure games and not getting paid any money that day. All right, so if we organize things correctly, all right, the first 2 games, exposure clinic. The second 2 games, let's get you on the field and get you paid $120, $140. All right, so I try to do that as much as I possibly can. But with my role as a regional advisor for the Northern Sun, as the GPAC supervisor, and now the ICC-AC supervisor, we need more college umpires. All right, and people always ask, like, how do I get hired as a college umpire? This is one clinic you could get hired. There's another one down in Kansas City. There's another one in Springfield. You just got to find the camps that the assigners put on so you get on their staffs. It's a job application is what it is. All right, I want to work the GPAC conference. Sweet. How do I apply? Come to the exposure clinic. All right. As I say all the time, I compare umpiring to baseball. When it comes to recruiting, guess what most players do these days? What do players do to get recruited? They go to showcases. What else do they do?
They make videos of themselves.
They make video. They enter portals. They enter like recruiting companies. It's the same thing as an umpire. All right, so if you are looking to be recruited, find a portal, find a way to get in front of that coach, in front of that assigner, because the assigners aren't going to go to 20 cities to find the best umpire in that city. It's those best umpires in those 20 cities have to come to that assigner. Just like college players, they have to go to where those college coaches showcases where 30 coaches are there at the same time. Same exact thing. All right, so you have to have that initiative. When it comes to our group, our first initiative is this exposure clinic. All right, so this will be posted tomorrow. I wanted to announce it today, so you guys are looking for it and ready to get go. All right, question number 1. This is for the ball, all right? This situation did not come up exactly in the game. It almost came up in our training session yesterday for brand new umpires. Perfect place to do this. Score 5-7, bottom of the 7th inning, R1 and R2 with 1 out. So how many runs need to be scored for a win? 3. Okay. Batter hits a high towering fly ball. R1 and R2 tag up, and they're tagging up because it's deep. It's so deep, even first base runner is going to be able to tag and get to second. The batter runner passes R1 before the ball crosses the outfield fence. Ball lands beyond the outfield fence over fair territory. What is going to be the final ruling on the play?
So it is a home run ball.
It is a, well, you tell me. I mean,
Well, you say high tower and fly ball, I automatically think infield fly. So is this a home run?
keep going. Keep reading. Let's keep reading the question.
Okay, so it's a home run. R1 is out. Being passed. For passing the runner. Oh,
One-
no, I'm sorry. Batter is out for crossing R1. The 2 runs scored. There's 2 outs.
All right. That's what I say. Chad Metzger gets the ball. Oh, here's the. Could you hand that to him?
It's tied 7-7 with 2 outs.
It's tied 7-7. No runners on base. 2 outs. Because that once that batter runner passes R1, that batter runner is out.
There's a college game though.
It did happen. It happened in Marshalltown about 6 years ago. I know that. What's that?
Rookie gets something, man.
Not yet. No. All right. Whose call is that?
It's the base on the base. Is he still?
Trick question.
Depends if you want 1 out.
It depends on where the ball's hit, right? So definitely you want to start in Weir in this situation. First, runners on first and second. Oh, we're going 2-person. So we're in C. So you want that, and that's the question. So U1 has the home run ball, left field, right field, inside the wedge. Home plate umpire has left field to the foul line, right field to the foul line. So if it's right field skinny wedge, it should be the plate umpire. Plate umpire is seeing that batter runner, is seeing the ball. If it's left field, it's got to be all base umpire. If it's middle of the field, it's got to be all plate umpire. All right, so we talk about awareness on the field. This is a pretty big call, right? All right. So if both umpires are just staring at the baseball, are we going to see that base runner? So we need one umpire always staring at the baseball, all right? Or the fielder's going to catch the baseball. The other umpire has to have a head on the swivel. All right, runner, ball, runner, ball, runner, ball. All right, because in that case, as a feel, if I see R1 tagging up, I'm now watching the batter runner if I'm not responsible for that home run ground rule double. Right? And that's that feel you got to have as an umpire on the field. Red?
Okay, so how does that change with 2 outs, ball hit?
If that changed 2 outs, out, game over.
And it would be no runs?
No runs. Yep. As long as, because they didn't touch home plate when that 3rd out was recorded. Out.
Now, if that be opened up to the time issue, if it was like 2nd, 3rd, then they both score around.
When does a half inning end?
When the 3rd out's recorded.
When the 3rd out is recorded. This 3rd out was recorded before the ball went over the fence. Half inning has ended.
Yeah, we went 2 outs, and the runner's not going to pass.
Correct.
Correct.
But they could be admiring the ball.
It could be, but
Now, if R1,
I've seen crazier things.
if R1 is standing on first base and he runs technically through up the right field line, that's not passing, is
That,
it?
as long as he stays on the right side of the bag, that is not passing.
I just,
Yep. All right, so that's question 1.
So if it doesn't go over the fence, say it bounces, hits the fence, runner passes, umpire verbalizes he's out,
Yep.
play still goes.
Correct.
It's not a dead ball.
Correct. Ball is live. All right, so you're just going to say, that's passing, you're out. And I would be as loud and emphatic as you can when you're saying that's passing, you're out. Unique thing I learned this past week, if you're working a game, college game with review, passing is reviewable. All right, so that is something the umpiring crew can review with college baseball and review. All right, question number 2. Is Trevor Stickney here? Matt Krause, you're here. You might recognize this play. I don't have a prize for this one. But batter bunts the ball down the first base line. The bat was dropped and became stationary in foul territory. The ball hit the stationary bat in foul territory and continued to move into fair territory. Batter advanced to first base with the defense not making a play. Ruling. All right, so Tom Hendricks has foul ball. So now, Tom, I am the coach. I'm asking you, why is it a foul ball?
Something fell there.
All right.
The bat was stationary, moving.
All right, so the bat is stationary. So when the bat is stationary, what is the bat now considered? Part of the field. All right, so the BLTS in fair foul, right? What does the T stand for? Touch. Once the ball touches something, a player, a fence, a bat in foul territory, what do we rule as an umpire? Foul ball. Okay? So that's where that ball became foul. Why? Because it touched something in the field of play in foul territory. Okay, so the ruling would be foul. You have that play in your game?
I'd like to make a comment.
Yes.
We had something similar to this play happen in our game.
Okay.
However, the bat was dropped in fair territory.
Ha
The batter bunted the ball, dropped the bat. The ball went up in the air but had backspin on it, came back and hit the bat in front of home plate.
So hit the stationary bat.
Hit the stationary bat in fair territory. Play played out. Runner was safe. The defense did not make a play because the coaches were yelling and everybody was yelling, that hit the bat, that hit the bat, that hit the bat. So after it was done, the coach came to me and asked me, actually that's not what happened. The defense did make a play. Picked up the ball, threw the runner out.
Oh, nice. See.
So the out was there.
Yep.
So the coach came and asked me and said, hey, what's the situation? And I said, because he did not intentionally drop the bat or try and hit the bat at the ball, he just dropped the bat and it landed, and that's where the ball didn't hit the bat.
All right. So now let's go back to how we're explaining it to a coach. It has nothing to do with intent. So I bunt the ball, I drop the bat. Once that bat becomes stationary, what does that bat become part of? The field. Stationary bat, by rule, becomes part of the field. A stationary bat becomes part of the field once it becomes stationary. So once that ball touches something, an object, what results in that play? If that bat's in fair territory,
Status of the ball.
yeah, status of the ball. Yep, because it became fair when? When it touched the bat. It's just like touching a catcher in fair territory and then rolling foul. Fair ball. It touched an object in fair territory. Nope. We're not there yet. Let's finish this rule. We're going to finish this rule. Now, let's say the bat is moving. Now we have a moving bat and a moving ball or a stationary ball. Now the bat, since the bat is moving, hit the ball a second time. Now we have interference. Out. Stationary bat becomes part of the field of play. Moving bat is now hitting the ball a second time. If that moving bat is in foul territory, now you have to judge, was it intentional or unintentional? If they literally just dropped it because they bunted the ball and dropped it and ran, that's not intentional. Intentional is like throwing the bat at the ball. That's the only intentional you're going to have. Of course, they intentionally dropped the bat after a bunt. But truly intentional is I am guiding the bat to that specific spot to hit the ball a second time. Now, if that happens in foul territory, that's interference. You're preventing the ball from coming back fair, out. All right. Does that clear that rule up as muddy and clear as possible? Chris, you had a question?
Do you also have to judge intent if they throw the bat in fair territory?
What's that? No, because the bat's not part of this fair territory.
But
If they throw the bat in fair territory, if it's moving bat, you got offensive interference. If it's stationary, now it's live and in play.
So the only time you really have to worry about intent is if the bat's
No,
like it becomes stationary.
if I throw it at the ball,
Right.
that's the only time
If that, yeah.
I throw it at the ball. If I drop it, that's not intentionally affecting the
If you
ball.
throw it at the ball, it becomes stationary. You still have intent. You can call interference.
Say that again.
If you throw it at the ball and it becomes stationary, then the ball hits it. You can still get him for interference.
No.
Okay.
Stationary. A stationary bat is part of the field of play. On to the next one.
Alright. So,
What's your name?
Josh.
Josh.
Yep.
All right.
So here's an interesting one I've seen. It drives me crazy. So runner's still in third. Okay. Third baseman is not getting like this base. Normally you're trying to teach him to receive here and then reach out. But what happens is he receives here, blocks the base. That's interference. Runner's safe. Correct?
Yes. All right, so the question is, let's say any base, okay? Runner is stealing second, a runner is stealing third. We're not going to touch home plate right now. That fielder cannot block the path to that base until they have clear possession of the ball. All right? Clear possession of the ball. So the question was, when that third baseman is coming up to catch the ball, can they put their knee down in front of third base before getting the ball? The answer is no. So now from an umpire standpoint, once that knee is, or foot, body part is blocking that base, I'm going to go, that's obstruction. And now if they're out, I'm going to go time, that's obstruction, you third base. Now if they're safe, I'm just going to go safe. Because had obstruction not occurred, they're still safe. All right? But they cannot block first base on a back pick, second base on a steal or back pick, third base on a steal or back pick without clear possession of the ball. Very tough call to make in two-umpire system, because what are we actually watching on steals as a base umpire? First the pitcher, now they're stealing, now what are we watching? Yeah, we're watching the ball all the way. All right, so we usually don't get to that fielder until so if you're going to have that obstruction, I mean, you got to know they're there like on the ground already waiting for it. That's why Major League Baseball, the the second base umpire now, with the new obstruction point of emphasis, they have it behind second base because now they see the fielder and ball the whole entire time. So it's a lot easier for Major League umpires to see that play. And it's really tough for us to see that play. So
Here's the fun one I've been having, and I've had it 4 or 5 times. The first baseman straddling first base to receive a ball.
illegal.
Well, the issue is they're always stepping forward, and I tell coaches, they're like, well, he has thought between his legs. I said, the base is open.
Yep.
And as long as he's not obstructing the base, it's fine. I said, if he drops his foot out there, tell your runner to slide in the foot.
So
Now it's obstruction.
we actually covered that the last rules discussion.
Omaha's been doing it like crazy.
I know there might be some coaches in here. We should not be teaching the player straddling the base. There's no advantage of it at all. So coaches, if you're teaching straddling the base, it is legal because you're still given access to the base. But it's actually a disadvantage because when that runner comes in, guess who's going to get in the way of your fielder? The runner sliding in. Exactly. So coaches, you should not be teaching straddling the base.
So
Next question.
Zach and I had a play. Runner gets to second base. He's getting ready to steal third. The kid squares the bunt and he's going like this with the bat. Is that batter interference? Like, so the catcher ended up missing the ball, hit him in the mask, and went off to the side. Is that batter interference then?
So the question here is I squared a bunt, and instead of either holding it out there, not moving it at all, pulling it back at the last second, or attempting to hit it, they are doing something quirky, weird. Why are they doing this?
Distract the catcher.
All right. So now, is that a movement associated with contacting the pitch?
No.
So now let's go to the rule. Any movement made by the batter that impedes, hinders, confuses the catcher from making a play, that's batter interference. So boom, time, that's batter interference. The initial play does not retire the runner. You're out, you go back. Because we have another additional movement not associated with the swing or bunt that impeded, hindered, confused the catcher from making a play. And then we could get into the mockery of the game, and we could go that part. So coaches, don't make a mockery of the game.
Would you give a warning, or would you?
No, absolutely not. No. What's that? Now, the only time I would educate the player if it truly didn't impede the catcher. Let's say they're doing it, the catcher catches it, and they don't steal. All right, whoa, time. Hey, batter, I just want to let you know, if you do that again, and that impedes, hinders, confuses the catcher, you're at risk of being called for batter interference. But if it's truly batter interference, there's no warning for batter interference. We're going to enforce the rule. Go ahead, Josh.
So I played a coach, second coach in run PBA and director. So played a coach. I was under the impression this is like a select rule question, that you are not allowed to fake the bunt, pull back, and hit. Did that change this year?
No. So you say Papillion. Don't quote me on this, but I'm going to use I think. I think Papillion is the only select organization in their tournament rule, and I definitely know in pro baseball doesn't allow it either. They like have a specific rule. They cannot bunt, pull back, slash. It is no. Yes, no. It was. You could always do it in USSSA. Papillion has been the only USSSA tournament in Nebraska that has a specific rule in their tournaments. You can't do it.
Unless you're like 14 or something.
Yeah, so the bunt, the pullback, slash. Should I turn on my hotspot too? Or are we good?
I'm good.
Okay, we're good. So the slash is legal for USSSA, legal in high school, legal in Legion. It would be a specific tournament rule that would make it illegal. I did not get a call Sunday.
Because Jeff, the guy out of the Elkhorn, had to call people because the Elkhorn team was very adamant that it was illegal.
I mean,
We stopped the game, stopped the time.
It's-
I went to him, he said, I have no idea, started making phone calls, and then after about 15 minutes later, he said, it's legal.
yeah, it's a very dangerous play. Bringing that third baseman, charging in, and then all of a sudden you're going to whack at it. I coach a 13U team. We don't have that play in our rule book, just because it's you don't know how the other team is coaching their kids to field the bunt. Coaches in here, when a player squares, you don't want them charging, even if they truly do bunt it. You want them coming in, but you don't want them sprinting in. Otherwise, it's a lot easier. Yeah, you could bunt it by your fielder. So have them jog in, start working in, and if they bunt into your coverage, you still get that force out. Yeah, you don't want sprinting in, but it is legal. It is legal to
Luckily,
do.
he didn't slash at that time, he pulled back, but the other coach was like,
Did that happen yesterday at the Legion game? Bomb the replacement or
Not in our game.
must have been
Tom, you had a question?
Yeah, there's like a couple runners on and shot to the outfield, the merry-go-round's going, like, kid scores, you know, the throw comes in, and the kid that scored goes to pick up the bat or is in that vicinity and draws the throw.
Who?
There's no reason to throw it home, except that kid there's somebody there. So at what point does that become?
So so the question is, let's just go bases loaded. Okay? Runner on third scores, goes to the dugout. Runner at second scores, for whatever reason, grabs the bat and continues to stay at home plate.
Runs up the line, he's involved.
With the bat? With or without the bat?
With.
If it's with the bat, that shouldn't confuse the defense. Because if somebody has the bat in their hand, are they a runner? They aren't. Now, I will give you another play that happened where the runner truly did confuse the opponent, and it was on purpose. First and second, fly ball to right field, and we have R1 and R2 tagging. R1, R2 tag legally. I have a catch. They're out. So batter runner's now out. Well, the batter runner, guess what the batter runner continued doing? He kept running to second base and third base. So now guess what the right fielder did? Threw it to third base to retire the batter runner who was already out. Guess where R3 went? Home. So at that point, I called time. I did not get an out for interference. All I did, I returned what was R2, R3 back to the spot because that's where they would have gotten had that runner not continued running. I gave the runner benefit of the doubt. They didn't know the ball was caught. So I didn't have them doing it intentionally. I just killed the play when I saw there was confusion. And I told the coach who scored the run, I said, Coach, my mechanic must not have been strong enough to let that runner know that I called them out. So I put it on me as umpire error in communication.
But you let the base runners advance.
The one base.
One base.
Yep.
They could have anyway.
Yep.
Sean, is that something where we can grab an out, depending on the level?
If you truly think the runner did it to impede, hinder, and confuse, it is interference, offensive interference. Runner closest to home is out. But I don't want to pick that booger unless I really know that runner did it on purpose. Otherwise, I'm going to put it on me being a poor communicator as an umpire.
Sean, aren't most base coaches letting them know you caught it, though?
Should. Coaches should communicate to the players, hey, you're out. You know, good hit, good barrel. He caught it. All right, next rule situation, game management situation. Chad.
All right, bases loaded. One out, batter has a 1-2 count. R3 attempts to steal home and is hit by the pitch. As he steals home.
R3 is hit by the pitch.
As he steals home.
Okay.
What's the rule? What's the call? You saying both up there? Or? I know.
Interfered with the pitch, because it cannot be called a ball or a strike. Never crossed the
Yeah,
plate.
it's like he's just going. Yeah, he gets hit by the pitch.
How does he get hit by the pitch?
So,
Really fast.
There's those videos of
Did you
them
get
getting
it?
hit in the back. They're stealing home.
It's like a
I'm
suicide
calling
squeeze,
ball.
right?
Yeah,
They're like,
runner
so
three.
it's
5-1-1
5-1-1-A, 6-1-4, and 8-1-1.
5-1-1-A.
And 6-1-4. This was a casebook play back in 2019. So, if you think the answer, batter's out because he interfered with because it was in the strike zone. So, the ball becomes dead, the batter's out because of the third strike, but the run counts and each runner advances a base.
Wait, why did he strike?
So you got
So all base runners are awarded one base from where they are at the time of pitch. In both A and B, or I guess, the ball becomes dead immediately and the batter's out because of the third strike.
It's not.
Well, I guess, okay, so the pitch was in the strike zone. I should try and say.
So 1-2,
1-2 count.
strike zone.
Runner steals home, gets hit by the pitch. The pitch is in the strike zone.
Okay, strike 3 because he didn't swing at it.
Right.
Okay. And now it hits the runner.
It's the runner.
So now the ball's dead.
Ball's dead.
And the penalty for a pitch ball hitting the runner,
Hitting a runner is in one base.
what, all runners get one base?
All runners get one base.
All right.
Because
So technically the run scores.
No. Time of pitch.
time of pitch.
Okay. Oh, at the time of pitch. Okay.
Well, at what point is the pitch complete?
How can you swing a pitch at the
It's no different than like a batter's sticking his elbow down in the strike zone.
Yeah.
The
No,
dead
you're
ball,
right.
the batter's out.
You're right.
I did a 10U baseball game the other day. Top of the first inning.
Oh, hold on, guys. Hey, Red, let's have one person talk.
Lead off batter on third, no outs, 3-1 count. 10U baseball coach stole home on the pitch and the kid swung. I'll clear that kid's head by that far. 10U baseball, first run of the game.
So did the batter at least swing high, like intentionally miss
I
it?
don't think the batter got the call. I think the guy just stole home.
Ooh.
But I lost it on that coach. Sorry.
All right.
That's unacceptable.
Yeah. Well, we'll,
I ain't say I lost it. I told him no one to do that on my field game. If
Yeah.
you see the umpire, I will call it out.
well,
It's just,
So if there's 2 outs, there's no run scored.
2 outs, no run scored because strike 3,
But
half
if
inning
there's
ends.
anything less than 2 outs, batter's out because it was two strikes. Pitch was in the strike zone, and each batter advances 1 base because the pitch ball hit a run.
And I know that was on our NCAA college test too, that exact play. So, Red, what were you guys talking back there?
Well, I was sitting there, how am I gonna swing and hit a strike in the zone if my buddy's head is in the strike zone?
that's why I brought up this,
And
right?
that's why
Yeah.
I'm calling the interference, or, some kind of, I mean,
So now,
he's impeding my ability to get to the ball with my buddy's head.
I'm glad we have this conversation because I'm going to go back to, so NSAA had a track meeting and Nate Newhouse is in charge of all sports officials. Okay, so I'm sort of going to talk about your situation. It is not my field as a sports official. Whose field is it? All right. Yeah, it's I'll say players and coaches' field. It's their field. All right, so don't be that umpire. This is my field. You got to play the game the way I want you to play the game. We can't do that. Now, can we have disagreements with rules?
You put a 10-year-old life in danger. I'm sorry.
But we didn't. As a sports official, we did not. Now, I would encourage a conversation with the coach. Hey, coach, did you know how much danger you just put this player in?
And that can go back to the batter maybe not getting the sign.
Yeah.
Maybe stealing.
So,
Well, then I go back to the guy breaking his leg on a coach's bucket and he sues the umpire and you have to pay.
well, there is a rule for that. There is the equipment rule, no equipment except the offensive team could have a donut on the on-deck circle, or rosin bag, pine tar. So that's why they would get us on that.
That
But-
goes back to your plate meeting, coaches keep the
Yep.
funds, the numbers.
Yeah. So
Okay, so back to swinging my buddy's head in the strike zone.
yeah, it is legal.
Well, it's, even if that catcher jumps out and the catcher gets smoked, guess what? Now you got catcher interference and you got to give the guy the batter the first base, and that run scores because the catcher jumps out. I mean, all in all,
I mean, assuming.
I'm
that
watching
it
this
was
kid,
looked
this
at,
little
I mean,
10-year-old
you're
crash.
assuming if the pitch was looked at,
And I'm like,
saying,
no,
if it was swung at.
Yeah. So that was a short 3 weeks ago, where exactly what you're talking about. The catcher came up, bam, right in the back of the head. Down goes the catcher.
catcher's dead.
And so now we have a catcher's balk. We have catcher's interference. So batter gets first base. All of the runners advance 1 base. And the catcher's the one going to the hospital. All right. But stealing home is legal. I mean, we as umpires could sit here and say it shouldn't happen, coaches shouldn't do it. But there is no rule that will put us at harm's way when it does happen. And one thing you can do is whatever team that is, you could block arbiter so you don't see him again, so you don't put yourself in that situation to have that play again. That is one thing we have control over. But understand, when it comes to the rules, when we get into conversations with coaches of, well, that's a stupid rule, so I'm not going to enforce it. We can't do that. My assistant coach, I hate the courtesy runner rule. Hate it. All right, and I don't use it as a coach. I make my pitchers and I make my catchers run, and I make a bench player warm up the catcher. All right, but I can't be as an umpire. No, I'm not going to let you courtesy run today. It's a stupid rule. I can't do that. So understand as a sports official, don't put yourself in precarious situations and using your opinions to try to influence somebody else's what they can and can't do by rule. Now, if they're doing it illegally, hey, coach, you cannot do that in this tournament because it's the tournament rules because of safety.
I have
Josh?
I just got two quick ones. So, like, this has happened to me twice now this year. This is a quick one, and the other one is something that happened last year. I just want to make sure I had the ruling right. So, if a batter gets hit by a pitch, can we not do the right thing as an umpire? We'd be like, okay, take first base and realize that we might have missed it. Because I've had two batters get hit and not get work. One guy got hit in the bicep and it hit his bat afterwards. That's still a dead ball based on balls. Had another guy get hit in the foot and the ball ricocheted the other way this weekend. And I'm like, dude, you got hit. The ball ricocheted a different direction. I was like, the kid just said he got hit. Like,
So what's the question?
I'm just saying, kid, as an umpire, if a kid says he gets hit, now again, if you don't see it, I get it. But if you see a ricochet a ball, can you not do the right thing and say, hey, you got hit? Okay, go to first base. I do that.
I'll take it. So the question is, if we, with our eyes and ears, you could umpire with your ears,
Right.
don't have a hit by pitch. You know, the play is this: the knob versus the hand. That's really the hard play. Did it hit the hand or knob first? I'll go. The first thing I do is time, and I take a look at the reaction of the batter. If the reaction of the batter is a delay, ow, that hurt. What did it hit first? The knob. Now, if I go time, and as I go time, it goes, ah! There are times I'm like, hey, could I see your hand? Take off the batting glove, see the hand, got a ball mark, boom, you.
I'm saying like
First base.
Here,
Yeah.
and then hit his bat. He pulled the bat like this. He turned funny.
So by rule, when it hit his bicep,
He's dead immediately on first base.
Coach,
time.
Coach, in my judgment, it hit his force or hit the back.
Because once it hits the...
I said, look, it hit. That's the second time it's happened this year.
So,
Look, it hit him.
so what did the umpire, what was the call in the field?
Well, so the one was measured. The one guy said, well, it hit his bat. I said, dude, he tucked his bat like this, and he tried to turn out of the way of the pitch, and it hit him in the bicep, and then hit his bat.
So that's where you got to have the... That's where you have to have the conversation with the umpire.
Right.
In your judgment, did the batter swing at the pitch?
Absolutely not. He
Okay.
was just trying to move out of the way.
No, you got to ask the umpire this.
Oh, okay.
In your judgment, did you have the batter swinging at the pitch? The umpire would say, no. In your judgment, did it hit the batter's bicep before the bat? Now, if he says yes, now you can say, all right, so by rule, you have to send the batter to first base. And if he says no, because it hit the bat, now you could protest. Because now we have a misapplication of a rule.
And that's where you get the other guy going. It did those two.
Yep. So, and you could, as a coach, always protest a misapplication of a rule.
How's that not a judgment?
What?
How can you,
Because you already got his judgment. You got his judgment that it wasn't a swing. You got his judgment that it hit the bicep before the bat. You got the judgment.
so what's protestable about that?
Because he said it hit the bat, so it's a foul ball. But he already gave you the judgment it hit the bicep first, so by rule, once it hits the bicep, what's the status of the ball?
My judgment hit the bicep.
Yes.
But you didn't award.
It wasn't protestable.
So if he's saying the umpire's trying to hit his hand on the bat, and the umpire's saying since it hit the bat, no matter what, it's a foul ball, whether it hits his bicep first or not. But if you talk to the umpire and say, the umpire says, yeah, it hit bicep then bat, but it's still a foul ball, you can say, no, I'm protesting. If it hits the bicep first, then it's a dead ball, he goes first.
Because the ball becomes dead by rule. So that's what I do as a coach. I'm sorry if you umpire me. Because when I go, I always get the umpire's judgment first as a coach. Always. Because I need to know if they applied the rule correctly based on their judgment. And vice versa, now that when I umpire, first thing I do is I ask the coach, what did you see? Because what am I trying to get from the coach?
Answer his own question.
Yeah, I'm trying to get third judgment. All right, because we say this in training all the time. One sound at first base, force play. He's out. Coach comes out. Coach, what did you see? Well, I saw the tie, Sean. and the tie goes to the runner. I go, whew, thank goodness. Me and you have the same judgment. All right?
Listen, same exact game that happened. I was on base.
Yep.
Boom, bang, Coach came out and he goes, doesn't the tie go to the runner? And I'm glad that you saw it that way, Coach, because I had the exact same thing. By rule, the runner clearly has to beat the baseball.
Yep.
In my judgment, he did not clearly beat it. So I'm glad that you saw that it was attacked.
Yep. So that's the game management situation. As a coach, I'm getting the umpire's judgment. As an umpire, I'm getting the coach's judgment before I make anything.
Well, see, on the second one that happened this weekend, the guy was like, because my assistant, so I got between my assistant coach and the umpire. I said, Blue, just the ball ricocheted the opposite direction, him in the foot. Did you not see that? And he's like, and then he's like, you just might have cost him the call. And I'm like, no. I said, Blue, you can't do that because he's being loud. I said, the right thing to do is to put him on base and hit him. That's the second time it happened to me.
So was there a second umpire?
There was a second umpire. So I said, hey, I'd like to just see if you can get his opinion. But of course, what happens a lot of times is they're just going to take the other guy's side. So for me, it's like, look, I'm just, as a coach and as an umpire, I'm just trying to do the right thing. You know, and sometimes we can make mistakes as an umpire.
So,
different.
talk about.
But as a coach, why is your assistant arguing the call?
Well, and see, that's the thing, is he's loud.
So-
And I'm like,
Well,
well,
that's your problem as a coach.
stop.
So that's.
Problem as a coach.
So,
So that's what we have to learn from this situation. As coaches, we want to do the right thing. There's only one person that should ever talk to an umpire,
that's the hitter.
the manager,
Right,
whoever's at the plate meeting.
right.
All right, and then now once that happens, umpires, where do we want the managers to go?
45-foot line.
Fair foul line. So nobody should be yelling at an umpire. Nobody should be getting close to an umpire. It's you walk to the 45-foot or 30-foot if it's 60-foot bases. Blue, could I have time? Can you come discuss your judgment? Because I want to know if you applied the rule right. That's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Because now nobody's at.
Stop, and then I go talk to the umpire because.
Don't even go. Nope. Don't even go talk to the umpire.
Okay,
Go to the.
line,
Yep.
time.
Have the umpire come to you.
Okay, gotcha.
And now you guys talk like adults.
I was trying to be the reasonable individual and get myself in between my loud guy and the blue and have a reasonable conversation.
Yep.
So that way he doesn't get thrown out.
You lost it when your assistant coach said words to the umpire. That's where you lost
I
it.
try to tell him, like, hey man, like, shut up.
So hopefully he's watching this video.
If I'm not,
All right. We had a question over here, David.
So, if the batter's in the batter's box and he swings, but the ball hits him in the head,
Yeah.
that's still a ball and he gets his base.
No.
The second he swings,
So let's talk about rules here. When a pitch ball hits a batter, what rule applies? When a pitch ball hits a batter, what's the first thing? Time. Now we have to judge a lot of things. Did they attempt to hit the ball? So in your case, they attempted to hit the ball. What's the penalty when a batter swings, attempts to hit the ball, and does not hit the ball? Strike. Now, in your judgment, he doesn't swing, or she doesn't swing, and the pitch ball was a strike in the strike zone. Now what do we do? Dead ball strike. Now, if the pitch was not a strike, and it hit the batter in the batter's box, and it's not a swing, now what's the penalty? Hit dead ball, hit by pitch. All right, so the important thing, whenever a pitch ball hits a batter, if you're not doing it, time. Give yourself a half second. There's actually a lot to process in certain plays. So timing. It's nothing until when? We call it something. Take in all the information, process the rules. Question.
this is more of a safety thing. What do we do when we have batters throwing their bat back, hitting the catcher? I've had a couple different ones, one at high school, and it's happened numerous times this weekend.
All right, so you're
I don't intend to. If it's intent, it's end of story. But it's when they're releasing it so late. Like this team hit the catcher behind the plate twice.
Yep. So
Two straight batters. First one, I just happened to be in the way. Otherwise, would have slapped him.
yep. So you use the word throwing. So the question is, what happens when the bat hits the catcher, no longer in control of the batter's hands?
No, they're releasing it, but that is out of their hands.
Yeah.
And now it's hitting the catcher.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Okay,
No,
So-
they
hold on.
swing, release the bat,
guys,
and then let him go. And
Guys,
it
we got it.
snaps.
So it's not intentional.
guys, we got it. Okay, a throw is I look at that catcher, and I throw the bat. That's an ejection.
Yeah.
If I swing and it's my batting gloves, I'm sweaty, and the bat is released, and it hits the umpire, hits the catcher, there is no penalty for that. All right. Hey, do you want to go get pine tar? Do you want to go dry your batting gloves? You want to get a new pair of batting gloves? You want to get a new bat that has better grip? You could find solutions, but you can't be like, again, it goes back to that bedside manner. You do that one more time, son, I'm going to eject you. Oh. The batter didn't do it on purpose. I mean, it's not fun. It's not. Yeah. So you could, could you swing the bat, keep two hands on the bat the whole entire swing?
Now what happens if it takes the catcher out of the play now? He gets clobbered. Now they have no catcher play at the plate. He can't do anything because he's knocked the fuck out.
So where was the batted ball?
Ball skipped by. Missed swing, hit the catcher. Released, he thought he hit it on a foul. When he released it, fouled it off, released the bat, caught the catcher.
So foul ball, right?
Yeah.
The catcher's not making a play. Foul ball.
The second one is,
What if they swing and it's right in front of home plate? So the ball is now fair territory. The catcher is the one that can make the play.
well,
That's-
that was going to be my follow-up.
All right.
Is now what if it is the case of that, and now the catcher can't make the play because he just got absolutely destroyed by a batter that
So now you
threw the bat into him.
got to judge, is it backswing interference? Is it, I mean, to me, does the pitcher have the ability to make the play? On that one, you can call batter interference because now you have an additional movement not associated with the swing because the release is not part of the swing,
Yeah.
that preventing a catcher from making a play.
That's what I was wondering.
A foul ball, no, because there's no
I know
play.
It just normally happens like there's nothing there. It's more of what if the catcher kind of gets taken out of the play now on something he could have done, or later on in the play. What if it's, I don't know, runners on second, fly ball gets by. Normally he could have been there.
Pitcher could cover home.
Okay.
Yep. Got nothing on that one.
High school does have a rule where you cannot carelessly throw a bat.
Carelessly throw a bat.
No, this was careless. Like,
So-
this was
If
they
it happens
had every
repeatedly by the same kid,
opportunity.
you can warn him.
Because
Yeah.
the first time he did it, he caught heat with it. I was like, hey, hold on to your bat or let go a little sooner. The second time, he held on to it a little bit longer and clobbered the catcher right at the upper thigh and knocked the catcher out of the game.
So
Catcher couldn't run.
I'll take it. I have told my son to do this. You remember where he hit field one fence 10 times in one season, and that's like no joke. I said, carry your bat all the way to first base, hand it to Coach Krause. He goes, what? You are holding onto your bat after your swing, and you're running all the way to first base. You're going to give the bat to Coach Krause. That is legal. There's no rule saying you can't carry your bat all the way around the bases. Now, you can't use the bat to intimidate, celebratory prop, unsportsmanlike, hit the thrown ball.
I'm the coach. I'm like, you
But-
need to tell your players to hit because I'm like, this is now,
All right.
this is now 2 in a row.
So
And I did tell him that
stop. That's what we just said here earlier. You can't tell players and coaches what to do and what not to do. That's not in this rule book.
I didn't tell him what to do. I said, hey, have them release it earlier because if it takes the catcher out of a play, he could make. We have a different story now.
You can't do that.
Okay.
So if they carelessly throw high school, there's a rule.
So in high school, you warn them,
Yep.
and the next offender of that team, you can eject.
Carelessly throw.
Carelessly throw.
So a lot of times, here's carelessly throw. I ground out, boom, and I throw my bat, spike my bat into the ground. but a follow through, a release is not carelessly. It is an intentional throw. Helmets that came up. Districts.
Yeah.
So it's,
Sporting behavior, like throwing your helmet after you ground out, but you're away from the play.
so I'm going to give you, through my years of experience as an umpire, this is a good assistant coach one, right? If I have a batter runner spike his helmet, throw his gloves, do something unsporting because they're upset at my call as an umpire or my partner's call as an umpire, automatic ejection.
Okay.
Yeah.
Automatic ejection.
Not just piss at themselves.
If they're mad at themselves, I am now going to look at the assistant coach or I'm going to look at the manager, whoever's the closest coach. If they ream that player, all right, they got it under control. If that coach decides to now yell at me or ignore the behavior, I am ejecting the player. All right? We cannot let the player's behavior is a spike.
I was thinking like the coach is now yelling.
No. Yeah. So, because now we have a rule, right, where they cannot slam their equipment in an unsporting manner. That's like saying fudge. All right. Like everybody heard that. You can't ignore that. And right, wrong, or indifferent, sport is a reflection of what we allow is going to be acceptable later on. So we can't allow unsporting behavior. So if they spike their helmet because it's our call as an umpire, automatic. They spike their helmet because they're frustrated themselves. As long as a coach takes care of it, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. If the behavior is ignored, ejection. Yes?
Texas was real big on that because it was getting out of hand at the high school.
Yep.
What was also getting out of hand, and this was bizarre in Texas, they were cracking down on high schoolers wearing jewelry. Is that something big up here?
If the jewelry's distracting, we have them tuck it in. Yeah. So I say this story. I get scared as an umpire when I see players wearing crucifix. So true story. Player slides into second base. The crucifix went right through his throat, and it opened up his throat. But it's religious. So I have them tuck it in and try to keep it tucked in. So it's not something that they can't wear it. But if I see it, if I could find a safer way for them to wear it, I'm going to try to find a safer way. But pitchers, anything reflective, tuck it in or take it off because it's distracting.
For high school, the umpires were instructed from TASO to go talk to the coaches and tell them, remove any jewelry before the game even started.
That's kind of like a basketball.
All right, so the question is, the unsporting behavior, does it apply to USSSA and OBR or Federation? Absolutely. Yeah, so players and coaches can't slam equipment and discussive umpires. Like, we have to control our emotions as human beings, and they ejected themselves. We as umpires didn't throw their helmet.
Kid popping out, like 14U, pops out, pitcher catches it, he says, damn it, is that ejectable?
No. You got ejected? When you put yourself in a box.
Ejected halfway to the dugout, he just said, damn.
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean, so here, I had this conversation with the coach last week. Right, wrong, or indifferent. Is the calling umpire here? It was a 13U team down South Omaha area. And the coach says, that umpire wrongfully ejected me too quick. And I said, Coach, I will tell you, if I'm in that situation, I'm not ejecting you. But you said something to the umpire, correct? Well, yeah. Do you think it was sarcastic? Do you think it was a joke? Do you think you were making like publicly shaming the umpire. Well, I was just trying to teach him a lesson. Well, so I said, so an officer pulls you over going 33 in a 30-mile-an-hour speed limit. By the law, could they give you a ticket going 3 miles an hour over the speed limit? Yeah, so that officer chose to teach you a lesson. I go, most officers, are they going to do it? No. But if I don't speed, can I ever get a ticket for at least speeding?
Depends on your interaction with the officer.
Yeah. All right, so sometimes people are wrongfully ejected. Sometimes people should have been ejected when they weren't. Us as umpires, we have to have a feel. But unsporting behavior towards umpires cannot be accepted.
Well, that's it. If he struck out, okay.
Yeah.
Pop out, walk it back, like, damn. I mean, it was like, damn it. Slammed his bat in
Yeah.
his hand.
Yep.
He's mad at himself.
Yep.
Yeah, like I always look at it is who is it directed at? Is it directed at?
Here, so we're talking about it like it's red. Rejectable or what? I don't know.
Is it directed at me as the umpire? Yeah, okay, now we have a different conversation. Is it at themselves? If it's at themselves and it's quiet, I let it go. If it's loud enough, like if it's loud and everyone hears it, now we have a warning under.
No warning. There's no warning. Yeah. So let's talk about warnings. We could warn ball strike. We could warn arguing a judgment call. In Federation, you could have a coach restricted to the dugout. USSSA, American Legion, you cannot restrict to the dugout. Unsporting behavior, it's not a warning. It's either they are ejected or they are not ejected. You can't write down, well, I warned them for unsporting behavior. Now, if it's unsporting, now, hopefully it's not to that level of unsporting, but that's huge. Red.
One thing that I think, and I had a chance to work a couple of the NAIA or the college for you this year, and one thing I learned from partners that I worked with is, and maybe it's a little different for college, but the whole thing at the plate meeting, inviting them to the 45-foot line or that circle, and having that meeting and giving that pregnant moment of silence for you to collect your thoughts, remember what you saw, and let them speak, avoids a lot of this reaction. What do I got to enforce right now? You don't have to enforce anything right now. You just have to take it in, get to your spot, review your stuff, and then let it play out. And my experience was that those were the easiest games to do. Because even though I know it was a tight call or it's a Kit Kat moment where you just sit there and go, what do you got, coach? And they tell you. Getting in the spot, especially the younger guys, and I did it earlier. I was horrible umpire when I started. Horrible. I was a Billy Martin umpire. Okay. Now, fortunately, as I got older, it seemed to dim a little bit. But that pregnant moment of silence and getting to that spot and just letting it flow, you don't have to go anywhere. Let it come to you.
Yep.
Let it come to you.
And that's the importance when a coach, we all know when coaches are upset, right? Just remind the coach to go to the fair foul line. Coach, when you get to that fair foul line, I'll come. And that's all the plate meeting. Ball strike, fair foul, safe out. We can't change it. But if there's a true judgment call, and if you have a question for me, go to the fair foul line, give me what you got. If I could go to my partner, I will for you. I want to use my partner if I can. Bring it to my attention. All right? And if you're by yourself, move around that field as much as you can. I will say this, for the YouTube Live, we're going to turn off the stream here in a second. I know in the beginning we had technical difficulties with the internet here. I'm going to be recording the registration stuff for ILB, for Mink League, for Iowa, for American Legion. That will be out early next week. Probably Monday, all right? But if you want to work summer college and you're not a current college umpire, contact me. If you want to work American Legion, want to work Iowa High School, and you are not registered, you don't know how to register, contact me, and I'll go step by step, or I'll send you this PowerPoint so those registration links are there.
Anybody watching out of state, do they still do that? Reach out to you and you have ways to find contacts for them to find?
Yeah, so if you're out of Nebraska and you're out of our region and you are out of our contract range, like you're trying to umpire high school baseball in Burlington, Iowa, in Des Moines, yes, I could get you in contact with those assigners. Yeah, I could, yeah.
I meant farther, like, what if like somebody in Oklahoma is watching this? Can they, is that possible?
Yeah, so
Do you know people that way? Or is
So
that
summer college in Oklahoma would be Doug McClure.
so you
yeah.
know people is what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Anywhere in America, if you're looking to umpire higher level, let me know. I'll get you connected. I know all the NAI supervisors I know, Division II supervisors I know, some Division I supervisors I know. So yes, if you are looking to advance, you don't know where to go for a clinic or registration, contact me and I'll get you in the right spot. All right, those on YouTube, thanks for coming out. Online, officials, remember, you're only as good as your last call, and that is so true. All right, you're only as good as your last call. Focus every single pitch.